Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV and Radio, where wisdom meets experience. Join a dynamic lineup of thought leaders, professionals, and changemakers from around the world. Dr. Madeline Chan from the UK, MARISKA Dupreya from Australia, Red O'Loughlin from Texas, USA, Carolyn Heward from the UK, Zunette Lub from Cape Town, South Africa, as they share expert insights, personal journeys, and impactful strategies for success. Talking Heads isn't just a show, it's a global stage for education, collaboration, and inspiration. So elevate your knowledge, expand your perspective, engage in conversations that matter. Streaming globally, empowering locally, this is Talking Heads, only on USA Global TV and Radio.
Hello, welcome and welcome back. Whether you are joining us for the first time or the umpteenth time, we are so happy to have you here today. My name is MARISKA Dupreya, and you are watching Talking Heads here on USA Global TV and Radio, and we are also broadcasting with our E360 TV partners. So what are we doing today in our little Talking Heads show? We are going to look at, well, not only 2025, but also 2026. So we are looking at our year in review, as well as looking at how to set up successful for 2026. And I thought it would be helpful, knowing that I work with so many leaders that runs around like mad people sometimes, to take a bit of time to just be here right now. So if you are able, and of course, if you are driving heavy machinery or on the road in any shape or form, or walking, please only do this once you are stationary and it is safe to do so. Because what I want you to do is we are going to do a bit of a grounding practice just to be a little bit more present before we jump into our topic. So you can do this in either way that would best serve you. You can do it with eyes open or eyes closed. If you are having your eyes open, I would suggest to lighten your focus a little bit. So either take your gaze down or just unfocus your eyes a bit so that there's not a lot of stimulation for you. And then what we want to do next is we want to just start noticing our breathing. So just notice your breath at whatever rate it is at the moment. Just notice it. Notice the air flowing in. And notice it when it flows out. Might be a bit warmer. It might tickle the hair just below your nose. Just noticing it. And then what we want to do next is we are going to take a breath in for the count of 4. So in, 2, 3, 4, and then hold 2, 3, 4, and then out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more round. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And let your breathing return back to its natural rhythm. And as your breathing returns back to its natural rhythm, I want you to notice just how your body feels, whether you are standing or sitting. Notice whether there's any tension anywhere. And with your breath, you can just, as you breathe in, breathe some breath into the tension. And as you breathe out, you can breathe the tension out, release it. We just want to notice it. So we don't want to do anything else with it. Make up stories about it. Not required, only noticing. And as you're slowing down your day and your mind and your body, just notice how you feel now. And as we slowly come back to our screens, wherever you might be finding yourself, you can wiggle your toes. You can also wiggle your fingers. That's helpful. And just bring yourself back to being here, right now, with me. I don't know about you guys, but I do feel a lot more relaxed, and it feels like my nervous system needed that bit of breath work. I know breathing is something that we normally do a lot of, but we don't always do it in a way that helps us necessarily as effectively. So this was a breath work to help us to center ourselves. So if you feel that you are frazzled or you had a very busy day, you can always come back to this type of practice just to center yourself again, and then bring some calmness into your space before moving into whatever the next space is. Now, you might have noticed in some of our other training material that while working with leaders, that is something that is very important for us as leaders, is to be grounded, to make sure that we are present as leaders. And a practice like this is very helpful for us to be able to do that. Now, the reason why I wanted us to first become present is, well, we're going to look at the past and we're also going to look at the future. Now, we are looking at them, but we are not in them. We are only in the present. So I wanted us to first be present just with ourselves so that we can remember that that is the only place we will ever be, is here right now. We cannot be anywhere else but where your feet is at this very moment, right? Even when we think about the past or we project things into the future, we are not there. We are only here right now. And what we want to do with when we think about the past or project into the future is we want to learn, adapt, and then change. That is part of what we've been doing as human beings for a very long time. And as leaders, this is also very helpful practice for us, not only at the end of the year, like where we are at the moment, for me, right here, right now, even though you might be watching this video at a different time. I don't know. It is good for us, however, to constantly be reviewing what we've been going through, learning from it, and then seeing how we want to adapt or change things as we go into the future. So as we look at 2025, what I want you to think about, and you can grab a pen and paper, and I'll ask you a couple of questions so you can work through your year in review. Or if you are using this video for a different practice, it might be your month in review or your week in review. You can use the same questions for any one of the time frames, as big or small as you want. So thinking about your intention initially for the beginning of the year, the month or the week, what was that intention? What did you set out initially at the beginning to achieve for this period? And just write down whatever that is. It might have been something that you wanted to achieve personally. It might have been a career goal that you had. It might have been an achievement that you wanted to accomplish with your team. It might have been a big project that you were working on. There might have been something that as an organization you guys wanted to achieve. So what's that thing that you wanted to achieve initially at the beginning of this time period? And as you think about that thing that you wanted to achieve, what did you, when you initially set up this goal that you had, what did you maybe not anticipate that now that you've gone through it, you can see? Sometimes we don't think about all the work that goes into something and takes a bit longer than we thought, or it goes a lot faster than we think. Or we might have thought that we need certain resources and then come to the conclusion that other types of resources are required. So what is it that initially you thought you might need or use, and you discovered that you needed something else? What was those things that maybe you didn't think about? And as you have these captured, I also want to look at the way that we have developed the thing that we have planned for. If you were to measure it on your scale of success, whatever that scale might be, how successful was it? Did it do what you intended it to do? Or did it maybe not quite do what you intended it to do? Did you need to change it or tweak it along the way? And what might those changes or tweaks have been? Because no experiment is ever perfect the first time. We sometimes need to tweak or change things, and that's normal and okay. And we still want to learn from them so that we can understand next time around. And as you're thinking about the thing that you wanted to achieve, I also want you to think about what it is that you've learned from it. Whether it was a raving success, or whether you feel that it could have gone better, or it didn't do what you wanted it to do at all. It doesn't really matter which one happened. What I want you to focus on is, what are you learning? What new knowledge have you gained through going through this process? What are you now aware of that you weren't aware of before? How did it change you as a human going through this process? How did you have to be different as a leader with your team, or as a human being, just with everybody else around you? What have you learned, tweaked, and changed? Now that we have reviewed our year a little bit more and looked at it, what I want us to do is take some of these learnings that we've had and also think about how we want to apply them going forward before we jump into setting 2026 up for success. So when you think about the things that you've learned from this year or from the month or week that you've had, what is it that you want to experiment with more, or try out in a different way, maybe change, tweak, or keep the same? How do you want to action what has happened? So now that we have this, and we have looked at our year or month or week, and we have tapped the learnings from it, we want to also set ourselves up for success for the next duration. So what we're going to do for that is we are going to think about, well, what it is that we actually want to be doing during this period. So whether you are setting up another week, a month, or a year, what is it that you want to achieve? And I want you to take your pen and paper and think about, what is it that you want to achieve during this period, no matter the length of the period. What do you want to achieve for yourself? Or maybe what do you want to achieve for your team? Or you might even think about the world and the greater community around you. What is it that you want to achieve with and for them? And as you write down what you want to be achieving, I want you to really think about how this would look and feel and even smell, if it has a smell. Use all your senses. Be in this place where you have achieved the thing that you are setting out to achieve. What are people saying? What are you hearing? What might you be seeing? How does it feel in your body when you have achieved this thing that you are setting out to achieve? So now that we have a little bit more clarity on what we want to achieve, and of course, if you are watching this live, we will continue. And if you are watching this as a replay, you can always pause if you need some more time. And as we move forward, what I want you to do is think about, what is it that in the past, when you had to either achieve something similar or potentially something that you have seen where this has worked really well. So it might have been building a relationship and you want to be a certain way in a relationship. Where have you seen that done really well? or it might be a project. Where have you seen that work really well? So I just want you to bring to mind a place, a space, a person, an example, a real life example that you can think of where you have seen this done well. If you can't think of something where it has been done really well, I want you to think about somewhere where it failed completely. Because we can learn from both. So as you think about where it has happened really well or where it failed completely, what's the elements that helped to contribute to the success? What helped it to be a success and work so well? In the case where it failed miserably, what caused it to fail? What might have helped instead to actually make it better so that it can succeed? So in both cases, we want to look at the elements that would be required for it to be a success. You can write those down. Anything you can think of, resources that was required, ways of being that might have shifted. So now that we have those, we know what it is that we want to achieve. We know how it looks like when it is done well. What I want you to think about is, what resources is it that you need within your own space to help you do this? So how can you bring it into life? And what is it that you will need to do that? And I want you to be creative with your resources. I know for a lot of people, we think about, oh yeah, but I need a bigger budget, or I need more money of some way, of some form. But that's not always the case. We can, a lot of times, also utilize other types of resources. We can see how we can involve friends or family in certain projects, for instance, or at work, we might incorporate or collaborate with other teams and team members in the other places where we can use their knowledge. So be creative with the types of resources that you might require. It might be books or podcasts instead of a course. Or it might potentially be coaching instead of training, because you already have the knowledge, but you don't necessarily know how to implement it. So what is the resources that might be helpful or useful for you to implement the thing that you want to achieve for 2026? And then last but not least, I want you to think about the one step you can take, whether it is your biggest, most audacious step, or whether it's the smallest possible step that you can take right now. Because I want us to already in 2025, or the month that we are in, or the week that we are in, start our projection towards the success that we are building, or the thing that we are working towards. So what's the biggest step that you can take, right? It might be something really, really big. Or if you haven't quite worked it out yet, or you feel a bit scared, that's fine. What's the smallest step that you can take towards this goal? And whatever it is, whatever you wrote down, what I want you to do is actually go and do it. So once we finish with this video, that would be, for lack of a better word, your homework is go and do that biggest or smallest thing, so that we can make sure that you are setting yourself up for success for 2026, or the next month, or the next week. So with that, that is the end of our episode for today. A little bit of a practical one there for you. And hopefully you might be able to come back to this one a couple of times during the year or even each year so that you can set yourself up for success continuously and also learn from what happened before. Now, if you are a leader moving into leadership or you are already in leadership and moving up in your leadership space, you are more than welcome to get hold of me via my website, which is journey2discover.com. And on there, you will notice that I have a little form that you can fill in and contact me that way. Or alternatively, you can also find me on my email address, which is Mariska, MARISKA, at journey2, again, the number 2, discover.com. Or I am also available on social media, and there you can find me on LinkedIn. So that's the best platform to find me on. And on LinkedIn, you will see that I'm Mariska de Pree, or if you are a little bit further removed, it might just show up as Mariska DU. Of course, there's a small little photo of me, so you know that you have the right profile, and you can always send me a direct message and we can start our conversation. Now, I hope that you have a fantastic rest of this year and finish it with a bang. We already did, because we tapped a lot of learning from the year as it is. So it is great to be able to do that with you. And I look forward to seeing you on the other side of 2025 when we move into our new year. And of course, your new goal, which I know that you have already jump-started, because you are going to do that just after this show. Until next time, bye-bye for now.
Listen, babe, now, listen, babe, now. Listen, babe, now, listen, babe, now. Listen, babe, now, listen, babe, now. USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Tracy Cram-Perkins, a dementia caregiving survivor teaching how to balance care with peace of mind. #1 resource for dementia caregivers. It's the book Dementia Home Care: How to Prepare Before, During, and After. Over 17,000 copies sold of this must-have guide. And now a testimonial from Tracy Smith.
If I was to describe this book to someone who is going through a similar situation, I would underscore how important it is to have some sort of a tool or a guidebook to help you through certain stages. And there's so many, it's such an unknown topic to the average person. And to have this as a reference is essential. It's going to help you get through it personally, as well as help your loved one manage.
To learn more, go to tracycramperkins.com. Tracy Cram-Perkins is an award-winning author. She's also the host of Dementia Home Care television show. Watch it here on USA Global TV and Radio.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dyes. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbick. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.